everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Naima. I've been thinking a lot about how I can approach 2022 with a bit more intentionality. 2020 we were all in shock, and 2021 we were trying to adjust to this new phase that we found ourselves in. And there's a new word I learned recently called liminality, and I think it really encapsulates the state we found ourselves in. And it means when you find yourself in a transition period, but you still have not realized what this new world order can bring. And I can't control what happens to me in 2022, but I can control where I put my attention and energy. So this video is all about how this year, instead of creating goals, I'll be creating systems. I got inspired to do this by a recent book that I read called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And one of the key takeaways from that book is that you should aim to create systems rather than goals, and the systems are what help you to get to your goals, and you can achieve a lot more longevity by doing that. James Clear in a recent blog defines this perfectly with a few examples. If you're a coach, your goal might be to win a championship. Your system is the way that you recruit players, manage your assistant coaches, and conduct practice. Similarly, if you're an entrepreneur, your goal might be to build $1 million business. Your system is how you come up with product ideas, it's how you hire employees and your marketing campaign. Similarly, if you're a musician, not magician, your goal might be to learn a new piece. And your system is how often you practice, how you break down and tackle difficult measures, and your method for receiving feedback from your instructor. So when I think about the main areas of my life, for me there are 4: health, relationships, career, and a big one for me as well is learning. I'm trying to think about the goals that I want in each area of my life and how I can build systems to support these goals. So the first one is health, and this is the most important one. And long COVID has put my health in a real upheaval, and I'm starting to see some improvements, and I think now is the time that I can try to take back a little bit of the control that I've lost over the last year. My goal is to try to integrate a little bit of exercise every day into my day so that one day I can make a full recovery. I was very active before. I was exercising 5 times a week and walking everywhere, and that is the type of life that I want to lead again eventually. So the system that I'm putting in place is to plan out my exercise routine every Sunday, to do the same exercises every day for a week, and to every 3 weeks increase the amount of exercise that I do by 30 seconds if my symptoms haven't worsened. And the final thing is banning screen time at 10 p.m. every weekday. And this is so that I can get enough sleep to be able to tackle these objectives and these systems that I've put in place. When it comes to my mental health, my main objective is to stay focused and to not be too discouraged by the speed of my long COVID recovery, which is not as quick as I would like it. In the early days of my illness, I would catastrophize and be caught in negative thought patterns, and now I am a lot more stable in terms of my perception of my symptoms, and I'd like it to remain that way. And the systems that I'm putting in place are: number 1, to meditate every single day as part of my morning routine; number 2, to journal every single day as part of my morning routine; and number 3, to stay on top of my therapy techniques, both with sessions and also by continuing to read and learn widely about mental health. And the second part of my life is relationships, the social aspect of your life. And being ill can be a very isolating experience, so my main goal is not to isolate myself any further. Main goal is to remain connected to old and new friends, and to make new friends along the way as well. And the system that I'm putting in place is to have 1 weekly call with a close friend every week, 1 social activity per week, and the last one is being more open to the people I trust in my life about my illness and about how things are really going. And career, so for me, my main objective is to build a business where my team and I are excited to go to work every day, where we can create an open culture that is working towards the same collective goal, a goal that unites us, challenges us, and is trying to make a positive impact on the world. So let's break that down a little bit into the systems that I'm putting in place. Number 1, I'm trying to raise external investment. So this is so that we can grow our team, and I want this to be done in the next quarter. So I've got a separate system in place to ensure that we get to that goal. Number 2 is to create a company mission, vision, and clear objectives that we're working towards as a team, so that everyone is united in knowing what it is we want to achieve before the end of the year and beyond. And finally, to have weekly calls with 5 prospective customers and existing customers to ensure that we're building the right product for our users. And the final part of my life is the learning aspect. One of my biggest challenges this year was start this YouTube channel. At first I was scared of what people might think, what if I had nothing to talk about, whether I would be good enough. Similarly with starting a business, I never thought it was something I could do. So it's made me realize that this is the way I need to approach my whole life. Everything is scary at first because you don't yet know what it is you're getting yourself into. But by taking small steps, you can really see the impact on your life months and years down the line. And so this is something that I want to challenge myself to do in every part of my life. My main goal is to continue to learn and challenge myself to learn new things. And the system that I'm putting in place, number 1 is to have weekly Spanish lessons with a teacher, so that keeps me accountable. Number 2 is put a weekly YouTube video up. It doesn't matter if I'm happy with it or not happy with it. I think it's more important to consistently edit and come up with content ideas, and I think the hope is that every video is 1% better than the last, and then over the next few months, that's a huge change in terms of the quality of the content that I'm producing. And then the final one is to read 1 hour a day before bed. And I'd like to end with a short quote from a book that I recently read by Sahil Lavinia, who is the CEO of Gumroad, and it's about business, but I think it can relate to a lot of things. The real story of starting and building a business is not really thrilling most days. Between start and success, it can be a long slog. It can take years, and often it isn't nearly as glamorous as you would expect, but you will have small victories along the way, and over time they build into a sense of satisfaction that comes from not giving up. And I think that really encapsulates how I'm approaching this year, that not everything is going to be exciting and glamorous. Learning to exercise from 0 is not fun, but slowly, that 2 minutes becomes 5 minutes in 3 months, and that becomes 10 minutes next year. And who knows, by then I might be fully recovered. Or when it comes to a career, slowly you're taking steps towards where you want to be. And I hope that I can look back on this year with excitement and a sense of satisfaction of not giving up. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.